Atlanta has a thriving music industry and is considered to be a capital of hip-hop, including crunk, of R&B and its offshoot neo-soul, and of gospel music, in addition to a thriving indie rock and live music scene. Classical, country and blues are also well represented. From the 1920s through 1950s the city was a major center for country music. Atlanta is a center of their gospel music scene in many genres, particularly urban contemporary gospel, black gospel, as well as Southern gospel. The leading industry awards ceremony, their GMA Dove Awards of their Gospel Music Association, have taken place since 2011 in Atlanta's Fox Theater. The Atlanta Gospel Choice Awards are also given out yearly at a well-attended festival. Gospel groups based in Atlanta included the Statesman Quartet and many others. /wiki/file indigo_girls_west_chicago_rel_050918.jpg Indigo Girls. Atlanta has also produced rock and pop music singers, such as the folk pop Indigo Girls, the Black Crowes, Sean Mullins, the Changelings, alternative metal band Seven Dust, ska/punk band Threeport, comedy core pioneers, attractive 80s women, Maserati, post-rock band Light Pupil Dilate, dream pop band Sealy, rock bands Uncle Green, aka 3 Pounds Thrill, Injected, Double Drive, City Sleeps, Manchester Orchestra, Collective Soul and Third Day, Butch Walker, and was a proving ground for Connecticut-born pop-rock blues musician John Mayer, as well as India Arie and Sean Mullins, all performed brief fame at Eddie's Attic, an independent club in the Imtown suburb of Decatur. The open mic shootout at Eddie's Attic consistently draws singer-songwriter talent from across the nation, and is held every Monday night. The Satellites played every Monday night for $1 at Hedgens in Buckhead, and Pranks played various bars. They all hit the big time. During the 1980s, Atlanta had an active punk rock scene that was centered on two of the city's music venues, 688 Club and the Metroplex, and Atlanta famously played host to their Sex Pistols' first U.S. show, which was performed at the Great Southeastern Music Hall. Subculture continued to flourish in the 1990s with their Masquerade and Tyranny, which featured industrial and dark wave. The Chamber, formed based on the success of Club's Fetish, an industrial and gothic night hosted by the Masquerade, became a cultural icon. Little 5 Points also continued to be the center of counterculture. There is also a large metal scene in the Atlanta, including sludge metal band Mastodon, metalcore band Woe Is Me, Issues, and deathcore band Attila. Other sludge metal groups from Savannah, Georgia are also sometimes associated with the Atlanta scene, including Baroness, Kylesa, Royal Thunder, and Black Tusk. Justin Bieber lives in Atlanta, having been drawn there by Usher and signed to their RBMG label. Atlanta has also had a thriving indie rock scene since the early 1980s. Notable bands and artists over the years have included Magna Pop, The Now Explosion, Mr. Crow's Garden, Dirt, the Opal Fox Quartet, the Jody Grind, the Wigs, Cartel, Norma Jean, Smoke, Black Lips, Flap, the Subsonics, the Rockers, Tonut, Manor Astra Man, the Rock 18s, Pineal Ventana, Ultra Baby Fat, Nerd Queen, Atlas Sound, Almighty Defenders, the Gay Blades, Made in China, the Tom Collins, Drop Sonic, the Dreaded Marco, the Orphans, Bobby Ubangi, the Coat Hangers, Brass Castle, the Liver Hearts, Elevado, Jackal, Deer Hunter, Family Force 5, Whores, the Salmonaires, Khaki King, Woe Is Me, Starbenders, and Alison Vice. Other groups prominent in Atlanta included Guadalcanal Diary, the Swimming Pool Cues, Loudflower, Incarcerine 9, and Arms Akimbo. Notable industrial groups based out of Atlanta include Combo Christ, Dissector, and Finite Automata. The city also boasts a large synthwave and modular synth community featuring synthwave groups such as Gregorio Franco and Vampire Stepdad. Electronic jam groove band Sound Tribe Sector 9 is also from Atlanta. In the early 1980s, Atlanta was the home of a thriving pop and new wave music scene featuring such bands as The Fans, The Brains, The Producers, The Raves, Baby and the Pacifiers, The Razor Boys, The News, Desperate Angel, Samurai Catfish, Heathen Girls and Face of Concern, to name a few. Atlanta is also the home of Grammy Award-winning artist and songwriter Van Hunt. The city has a well-known and active live music scene. In the early 1980s, Atlanta was the home of a thriving new wave music scene featuring such bands as The Brains and The Producers, closely linked to the new wave scenes in Athens, Georgia and other college towns in the southeast. Historically there have been a variety of live music traditions going back to Cabbagetown country music pioneer Fiddlin' John Carson, also including a thriving scene in the 1990s, also in Cabbagetown, centered on a bar called Dottie's, now known as Lenny's and relocated a few blocks away. Video Concert Hall, precursor to MTV, was founded in Atlanta. The 688 Club was a popular alternative music venue from 1980 to 1986. The Masquerade is a popular concert venue. /wiki/file blind_Willie_McTell_lock.jpg Blind Willie McTell, Piedmont Blues. Though not a blues capital like Memphis or New Orleans, Atlanta has been home to a blues scene and a number of notable bluesmen including Buddy Moss, Curly Weaver, Barbecue Bob and Blind Willie McTell. In the blues bar named after McTell, Blind Willie's, and several others, blues musicians such as Francine Reed, Delta Moon, and Sandra Hall have performed. There are also a number of jazz clubs and the annual Atlanta Jazz Festival. On the 30th anniversary of the festival, Mayor Shirley Franklin commissioned the portrait Jazz of the City of Atlanta, displayed in City Hall. /wiki/file Fiddlin' John Carson.jpg Fiddlin' John Carson, a star of Atlanta country music, which thrived in the 1920s-1950s. Atlanta played a major role in launching country's earliest recording artists in the early 1920s. Many Appalachian people such as Fiddlin' John Carson had come to the city to work in its cotton mills and brought their music with them. It would remain a major recording center for 2 decades and a major performance center for 4 decades, into the first country music TV shows on local Atlanta stations in the 1950s. Today, Metro Atlanta is home to Alan Jackson, Jason Aldean, Zac Brown Band, Sugarland, Kenny Rogers, Jerry Reed, Ray Stevens and Travis Tritt. Metro Atlanta is home to the Grammy Award-winning Atlanta Symphony Orchestra and Chorus, 2 renowned historical chamber groups, their Atlanta Baroque Orchestra and their New Trinity Baroque, and to notable musicians such as conductors Robert Spano and Pregiusta, the late Robert Shaw, countertenor David Daniels, bass Jason Hardy, and others. Atlanta is also home to their Atlanta Opera, Atlanta Ballet, Capital City Opera, Georgia Boy Choir, Atlanta Boy Choir, and many others. The music salon of their Oscar Poppenheimer mansion was the hub of chamber music from the 1890s through the 1920s. The Atlanta Music Club was formed in 1915, and was instrumental in establishing their Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, 1923, the Choral Guild of Atlanta, 1939, Atlanta's oldest independent chorus, and the Atlanta Youth Symphony Orchestra, 1944, which in 1946 became the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. A 1962 plane crash in Paris took the lives of more than 100 leading Atlanta art patrons, who were commemorated with the construction of the Memorial Arts Center, later the Robert W. Woodruff Memorial Arts Center. Early venues for opera in Atlanta were Doug Gibbs Opera House, built 1870, then Doug Gibbs Larger Grand Opera House, built 1893. From 1910 New York's Metropolitan Opera began its immensely popular series of spring visits to Atlanta, lasting until 1986. Early efforts to establish local opera companies experienced difficulty. The Music Theatre Guild of Atlanta, 1974, and the Atlanta Lyric Opera, 1976. In 1977 the Guild was renamed Georgia Opera, moved to the Woodruff Arts Center and added an orchestra. In 1979 the Guild and Lyric Operas merged to form the Atlanta Civic Opera. in 1985 reorganized as the Atlanta Opera, which moved to their Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center just outside Atlanta in 2007. Magic City is Atlanta's premier strip club, responsible for launching artists such as Future, Young Thug, Gucci Mane into the mainstream. Magic, the owner of Magic City, takes pride in his love of stripping and believes that the rap game in Atlanta is held together by the power of booty. However, the role of strippers isn't just a position of subservience for the aesthetics of the club. Because they control the mood of the room, they have the ability to control audiences. They can make or break rap artists. The dancers request songs, so if they're getting 10,000 thrown at them whenever it blasts, they will continue to request the song. A clubgoer explained, "The girls pick what record pops in the streets. They pick what rapper pops in the streets. The girls at Magic City are the streets."